So 5 months ago, Olight released the Ostation, and I called it a game changer at the time. So here we are 5 months later, and Olight just released the update to the Ostation. This is the Ostation 2 Pro, their next generation 3-in-1 battery hub, a charger, tester, and organizer all in one. So the reason I like the original Ostation so much is because it was a 3-in-1 battery hub. Since it was a 3-in-1 system, I didn't have to have a separate charger, a separate tester, and a separate organizer. It did it all. But it wasn't perfect. If you guys saw my video, you know all about that. And a few of my biggest negatives were it didn't do AAA batteries and it was just too large. Well, it looks like Olight listened, because the new Ostation 2 Pro does both AA and AAA batteries. And I mentioned in that original video that if they added the ability to charge AAA batteries, it was already so large it would have to be even twice as big. But check this out, they proved me wrong, because they added the ability to charge AAA batteries here along with the AA batteries, and they made it 25% smaller. Granted, it can't hold as many batteries, but I'll take that swap any day. The new Ostation Pro here can hold 12 AA batteries and 12 AAA batteries, 25% smaller, and it's still a 3-in-1 system, charging, testing, and organizing. And all the other great features from the original Ostation are here as well, such as polarity-free charging, where you can just drop in a battery, either direction, it doesn't matter. It's compatible with both AAA and AA nickel metal hydride 1.5 volt batteries, or if you have the Olight AA 1.5 lithium ion batteries, it'll take those too. There was one thing I was concerned with, because I still had a bunch of Olight batteries from the original Ostation, and I was wondering if it can still charge those, and yes, if you have batteries from the original Ostation, the Ostation 2 Pro will charge those. And another small negative I had with the original Ostation is that it had sort of a clunky interface, where it had certain steps that it was very specific about. You had to make sure the power button was on, then you had to push the button again to make sure it was green, and then drop the batteries in, and then push the button again, something like that. I don't really remember. I didn't look to see if the light was white, so I'm gonna press the light right there and make sure it's in standby mode when you plop the batteries in. I'm not sure if it was in standby mode or not, because I'm looking at the camera, but make sure you do that first. And what it'll do, it'll analyze all the batteries and start the charging sequence. But with the Ostation 2 Pro, they fixed all that nonsense. Check this out. It now has a touchscreen right on the front there. And this is a pretty nice touchscreen. Very responsive, very bright, and it isn't clunky at all. Basically, all you have to do is make sure the Ostation 2 Pro is on, take a battery, drop it in, that's it. And you notice I didn't have to look at that battery before I dropped it in. That polarity-free charging is really convenient. But I do have to make sure that I dropped it in the right slot. There's the AAA compartment, and the AA compartment is right back here. So right now, the Ostation 2 Pro is testing the battery in here. So it's going to test it, make sure it's good. Once it is, it's going to drop it into this middle section right here and start charging. And just like with the original Ostation, if it tests the battery and it's bad, it will discard it. This little drawer right here will catch all the discarded batteries. And I've had this for a few weeks now, and it hasn't discarded any good batteries like the original Ostation did. That was another one of my negatives. I haven't had that issue yet here. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop in another AA just to get these things tested, so I can show you what that touchscreen looks like a little bit better once all the info's there. I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
And here we go. So it takes a few minutes for the testing process, but you can see that LED screen shows a lot of information. It shows the percentage of charge right there, the type of battery it is, and a lot of other information here, especially if you use the Olight batteries. And why is that? Because Olight has a per cell battery health management system. So what the heck does that mean? It means that each Olight 1.5 volt lithium ion battery has a built-in smart chip. It enables real-time per cell monitoring on this touchscreen and through the Olight app. Yes, the Ostation 2 Pro is also compatible with the Olight app. Yes, that app is really convenient, but this touchscreen shows you almost everything you need to know. Also, if I hit the little back button right here, that's how you turn off the Ostation 2 Pro. Right here is the settings. You can see what those settings are right there. On the very top is how you connect to the Olight app. You can set up a charging schedule. That's where you can pause it right there dead center. And at the very bottom there is how you turn off the screen. To turn it back on, just tap anywhere on that touchscreen. Once again, a really nice touchscreen. It's not clunky or cluttered at all, which is what I like. So let's get back to the charging status here. So I just had a couple of these batteries fall down. They are fully charged. So right down here is where the batteries drop once they're done charging. Double A's on the bottom, triple A's on the top, and they hold 2 batteries apiece. There are my 2 double A's and my 2 triple A's are right there on the top. Really nice. I also really like the previous generation Ostations way they came out. It's sort of like a Pez dispenser, but you can only take out 1 at a time. Now you can take out either 2 double A or 2 triple A. Nice. Let's get back to the charging screen here. Just touch that and that little green button right there. There we go. So let's take a look at some of the other features here. We got the USB-C charger right there plugged in the back. On the very bottom, there's some rubberized feet right there so it doesn't slide all over the place when you have it on your table. Also, I should mention that there are 2 Ostations available. This is the Pro version. If you go with the non-Pro version, you won't get this awesome little touchscreen here, but you also won't get this awesome little feature right here that I've been saving for later on in this video. Check this out. This little piece folds right down, and there are 2 Olight magnetic charging ports right there for your Olight flashlights. Check this out. You take your Olight flashlight, plop it right there on that magnetic charging port. That red LED starts to glow. Your flashlight is now charging. Let's do the same thing with the Olight Arcfeld right there. Awesome. That feature alone being built into the Ostation 2 Pro is worth the upgrade in my opinion. I think it is a really smart feature to have built in right to the side there. What do you guys think? All right, guys, that's pretty much it. What do you think of the Ostation 2 Pro? I've only had it for a few weeks, so I'm still sort of testing it out, but my first impressions are, I love it. It's still a little loud when the batteries drop through when they're done charging to this bottom compartment because they still didn't insulate that bottom. But that's just such a small thing after all the other improvements that they made here. And I believe this is still in Kickstarter, so if you want to get in on that early bird, I'll put that link down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. You go over the Ostation 2 Pro. I don't want to hurt it. And go!